This is the weekly reading for the week of the 21st of November 2016. It includes both your general as well as your love forecast. The first two cards that come up are about the theme of this week. In other words, what is the overarching energy for this week? That first card is of skill. And this card says clear-mindedness and focus are required for the success of a project. And you need to know that this is commitment for the long term. So make sure you have the stamina or you pace yourself to commit to this for the long term. And should you focus and should you get that clear-mindedness and should you pace yourself for the long term, you're going to have a wish fulfilled. So it's well worth it. Now the first set of cards that come up for this week is the Knight of Cups and the Nurture card. Now this says you may find this week your emotions are a bit overwhelming. And the reason behind this is what the Nurture card says, is there's a lack of self-nurturing. So what you have found is your energy is depleted. And because your energy is depleted, you are overwhelmed with situations and you respond with too much emotion, getting too involved in the emotional side. So find that which fulfills you this week, find that which nourishes you and nurtures you this week, and make sure to do lots of it so that you can re-energize yourself so that you don't fall into this emotional pit or black hole. Okay? The next card that comes up is the Knight of Pentacles. So we've got lots of knights coming up this week. And the Freedom card. And this says it's time to be loyal to that which you know is right and true for you and to the people around you. Now what this is about is that the Freedom card says as much, that you are constraining others and they are constraining you, or you have put self-imposed constraints on yourself because of what others presumably think you should be doing and saying. This isn't always correct. We sometimes draw assumptions, and sometimes, yes, people do indeed tell us what to do and say. So this week is all about letting go of those constraints, finding a way out of them, especially if they are self-imposed. I think this loyalty card has more to do with being loyal to what you know is right and true for you. So what those constraints are, you need to break free of them. You need to stop telling yourself what to do and what to say and how to do it and how to say it all the time. Oh, there's so much of that at the moment. I mean, even when one listens to these kinds of videos, there's a lot of that, isn't there? I mean, I know it, I do too. Then the Nine of Cups cards comes up. And this said, so if this week you nurture yourself and you stop those constraints and restraints, you find a way out of that, find a way around it, then your efforts will be rewarded. Your wishes will come true. And you can experience love which does not dominate or control. Love which is based on love itself, divine love, not based on fear. This card actually says reconnect with divine love and the force will be with you. That's a really nice saying. So constraints, restraints, putting things on people to make them do what you want them to do is all about fear, isn't it? So if we can love without that fear, then you're going to find this week you'll be rewarded for it and your wishes will come true. And that's the second time the wishes will come true card comes up. Now, where love and relationships are concerned, the first set of cards were both children cards. I thought that was very interesting. That first child card speaks about relationships returning to innocence almost. Innocence in the way of not having preconceived ideas, prejudices, conditioning, of relating to people once again with no presumptions, as if they were brand new relationships before all those presumptions and conditioning that people make you think. And that second card is pretty much the same. It has the same kind of feel. That inner child within you which looks at relationships innocently, that is where we should be looking from this week, or how we should be handling our relationships. Because that second card, the challenge card, speaks about that self-doubt, that I can't do this, I'm not capable, I'm not good enough, I can't have a partner like that because I'm not pretty enough and not intelligent enough, whatever. It's all conditioning. It's all stuff people have said to us over the years, and we've taken it in and we believe it. And it's not true. So when that little voice crops up, shut it down and no, it's just conditioning. It's not true. Because that past life relationship, that speaks, I think, this week about something cropping up in your relationships, and even if there's a new one coming in, which digs a little bit away at your insecurities. This is a life lesson that hasn't been learned yet, but because it comes up in the cards, it's saying you have the opportunity this week to overcome that. This week you can get out of that pattern, out of that conditioning, out of that life lesson that makes you feel inadequate. Because that final set of cards says, be brave and open your heart. This card sort of says that have strength and courage as well. So this is not about letting people walk over you, but to open your heart, knowing that you're strong enough and brave enough to make the right decisions and handle what comes your way. Because that final card then says, put your flirt on. Be light-hearted this week. So have the courage to open your heart and then be light-hearted in the execution of it, basically, and you will have successful relationships. Your guidance cards, the first one that comes up says, nurture creativity and return to the sweetness of life. It's quite interesting that, because I was reading somewhere this week where they said that, someone had said, it was a quote, I want to be with people who do things, not with people that gossip and judge, but actually are busy and don't have time to gossip and judge. And that is a little bit what this card is about. This card speaks about go out and do stuff this week. It's not like busy stuff necessarily. It's just doing things instead of sitting and doubting yourself and having that little inner voice telling you things about yourself that aren't true, or we end up judging others when we know that we feel inadequate. That's the reason we judge others. So this card is saying if you get up and you get to do stuff, even if it's fun stuff, if it's busy stuff, if you do, and especially if it's creative, then you will see the sweetness of life again. And that final card, I'm actually going to quote a bit from the book. It says, be alert to seemingly random input, because these are clues. And once you have picked up the signs, pursue them diligently, as the potential for them to pay off is immense. So that's a lovely message for this week. Okay, and I wanted to say, have a look right at the end of the video. You'll see I'm holding a little bush baby, a little orphaned bush baby, while it's being fed. Just the cutest little creature ever. Those photos are so worth looking at. They're the last 2 frames in the video. So go past all the credits and everything. Right, and if anybody would like a personal or private reading, you can contact me at theoracletimes@gmail.com, or you can book a reading via the website. Both URLs show up in the owl picture, the web addresses. Or you can do the offer at the beginning of the video where you choose your own cards from your own tarot deck, and for a very small fee I'll read them for you. It's a lovely way to do it. And I hope you enjoyed this reading. Thank you for watching. Thanks.
Blue skies, sunrise. Where's the light I can find? And hold me up so high that I can be high the way that I go. Look out, the words that I know.